might know her from season 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under, or the fact that she's everywhere on the internet and media. She's the Queen of Australia. Aunt Simone, welcome to Gaywaves.
Oh, thank you for having me in your beautiful waves of gay. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, thank you very much, Aunt. Now, uh, you're a regional queen. You're from Geelong. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm from Geelong. I've moved around a lot, but yeah, I'm in Geelong now.
Were
Here
you
I am
born and bred
with all the
in
lovely
Geelong,
people.
or did you just move there?
I was born on the other side of the bay, so I was out in like Mornington, Rosebud, Frankston area, but then moved around the other side, and I've been here ever since. It's been fabulous.
What's the appeal of living in somewhere like Geelong? It's a beautiful city, though. I've been there many times, with nice wineries
Yeah.
nearby. But what's the appeal of living in Geelong?
Um, I mean, I really love the community here. I love the space. I love that it's quiet. I love that it's not too far away from Melbourne. It's classed as regional, but I think that's kind of cheating because it's like 50 minutes to get into Melbourne. So I feel like I've kind of cracked the system. But I love it out here. And I've performed out here for the last 8 or 9 years, and the audiences are just absolutely fabulous. And they really are appreciative and supportive and enjoy everything that drag has to offer. It's great.
That's fantastic. Now I'll just have to touch on that show for a second. Um, um, did you have like any hesitation in going on Drag Race? I mean, I've heard that the contracts can be really restrictive. It's like it's a big mood, and you were well known beforehand, and you had a worldwide following. So was it a hard decision?
Yeah, you nailed it on the head right there. It was really, really hard. When they first asked me to audition, I said no. I was like, nah, nah, not interested, not interested. I'm already doing really well for myself. I don't want to put anything on the line. I don't want to risk it. And then they kept asking, and at that stage, they hadn't said that they had RuPaul. The first time they asked us, it was just Drag Race. They didn't mention any specifics. So then when they came back and they're like, "Well, we do have Rue and Michelle," I was like, "All right, let's do it."
So that was the break. That was
um,
the decision maker
that
that Rue was going to
yeah,
be there.
if because that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And the contracts were really scary. I remember looking through them, and I mean, we weren't meant to know who else was on the season, but I remember calling up Karen and being like, "Are you looking at a piece of paper at the moment that's really scary because there's a lot of things on there?" And she's like, "I may or may not be looking at this thing too." And it's yes, there's a lot. But sometimes you just got to take a risk. So we
Mm.
signed on the dotted line and went to a little shed in New Zealand and had a good time.
Exactly. And I mean, I don't think it's hurt your career by any stretch of the imagination. Um, and you also had a little series called Highway to Hell, sorry, with Wow already. Um, how did you get involved with World of Wonder?
Yeah, so I'd just been networking with them because prior to that, and prior because we shot that during COVID
Mm.
lockdowns. But prior to that, I'd been going to all the drag cons, New York and LA, and networking with them there and creating good relationships. And when it came to lockdown, they're like, we really want to broaden our uh, programming, and we really want to do something that's down your way. Would you like to pitch a show? So then I teamed up with a couple of producers that I'd been working with, local ones that I'd worked with on lots of different projects. And I said, okay, let's put a show together and pitch it. I don't. I have a feeling that a few people did pitch, but they liked what we presented, and we got greenlit to create a crazy little season in on the inside of my car, all through regional Victoria. It was quite camp.
That's cool. Now you do seem to have a passion for interviewing people and finding out about people. You've got your podcasts concealed. You did the kick on, obviously. You really do seem to have a passion to get to know people and to interview people. Is that true? And how does that come about?
Yeah, it is. And I think it's maybe less about the actual interview process, but more about spotlighting and shining a light on characters and people with points of difference. Like you mentioned, my podcast, and the podcast came around because I'm in such a bubble with what I do in my life that I don't find it strange or weird or anything. I'm like, oh, this is just my life. I wear wigs and walk around. But I was like, well, there must be other people out there with really interesting passions and skill sets and everything like that. So we created this podcast where I get to not only interview and meet these people, but also celebrate them because there's lots of people who have all these different passions, but like society will instantly be like, no, you're weird, you're a freak, you're this, you're that, and we like to bring them in a really safe space and shine a spotlight and celebrate what it is they do or love or yeah. So I think my passion is actually more about spotlighting and helping other people, and I've always tried to do that with whatever type of profile I have. It's not fun just to stand in a spotlight by yourself. I like to share it with as many people as I can.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. And talking about sharing the spotlight, um, you did recently a song with etc etc. Um, and that's called "None of This Will Matter." Obviously, the line from RuPaul's Drag Race. Um, you seem to have a really good bond with etc etc. Is she your best buddy from Drag Race?
She definitely is, and it's something that wasn't really shown on the season, which is quite funny. But she was originally cast to be my nemesis. Nemesis? That's not a word. I
Really?
made one up. Yeah, because we're very similar, and she's younger than me, and she was doing what I was doing, and I think they put us in to kind of butt heads and like her to be like, I'm the new protege, I'm going to be better, but instead what happened was because we have so many similar interests, we like bonded instantly. I'd met her and worked with her a couple of times prior to the show, but um, when we were on the show, we really, really bonded together. So we did that. We then toured Australia with like 23 different shows across the country. We released two singles together. I really love what she her I love her point of difference of drag. I love what she believes in. She's really strong. She's passionate. She is a really she's a really good leader, and
Mm.
I think there should be more people like her. She's fabulous.
Now, you did get a chance to connect with her. Well, you came up to Sydney for World Pride, I believe,
Yes, yes. I was up at World Pride for a good 17 days, a big marathon, non-stop craziness.
wasn't it? It was
It
an
was
amazing
nuts.
event. And so, what was your favourite thing from World Pride,
Oh my goodness. What was my favorite thing?
or the few
Oh,
favourite
do you know
things?
what? Well, no, do you know what? I think yes, there was all these massive big events and special things that were like World Pride related, but I think at the end of the day, one, of course, was having the parade back on Oxford Street and getting to do that again. That was just everything kind of felt like it was back to normal, which was so wonderful after the last few years. So yes, the parade was a massive highlight, but also I was at the Imperial doing just shows just regular, fun drag shows throughout the whole season. I'd pop up there and do that. I think that was my favorite because it was more about community. It wasn't a big flashy like Well Pride, Nicole Scherzinger, Kylie Minogue. It was just drag in its purest form, and I think that was really wonderful.
That's amazing. Now, talking about now, I have to say, you are one of the busiest drag queens I know. Um, I don't think you stop. You're also in a TV series at the moment, In Our Blood on the ABC. How was filming that?
Yeah, it was a whirlwind and it was so much fun. We shot that in October and November last year. It's set in Sydney, but we actually shot it in Brisbane. It's a Screen Queensland production. Um, but it was so fun. My favorite thing about drag is that it's not limited to just being on a stage in a nightclub. It can take you anywhere and everywhere. So I love whenever I get the opportunity to step onto a set or a production or anything of that regard. That's where I get really excited. I've been performing for almost 13 years now, and I get excited when I get to do something new. So it was really good. It was really fun. It's a really special production as well. It's telling a story that a lot of the younger generations don't even know, you know. So I'm glad that it's out there now, and it's something that is like digestible, and it hits on all the important moments that you need to know, but it's not like an information overload documentary that's gonna like, it's enjoyable to watch. So I'm hoping that um heaps of the younger generation will like binge it all, and take that little bit of knowledge for the people that fought for us so we could be doing what we do today.
Mm. Now, talk about being busy. You're coming back to Sydney very shortly. You're doing the Drag Expo at the ICC coming up in now it's May 19th to 21. Um, Now you've been around the world to drag cons. You've been there, done that. What for someone who's never been to a drag expo before? What should they expect while buying that ticket and coming in the door? What should they expect?
Yeah, Drag Expo is your one stop shop for everything drag. So, you think of drag as the umbrella term. Sure, there's all your favorite drag queens that you get to meet, but then they also have amazing panels. They also have performances. They have all these different vendors, whether you like high heels or nails or shoes or makeup or wigs or accessories or literature. There's so much stuff for anyone that loves a little bit of drag. Of course, there's going to be all your favorite drag stars. We've got international performers from Drag Race coming down. We've got all your Drag Race Down Under divas there. But then also, Drag Expo celebrates your local queens. So everyone gets to shine there, including you. And it's for all ages. So, my little niece who's 4 or 5 years old. She came last year and she was so excited. She calls me Manty because I'm a man, but I'm kind of an auntie sometimes when I'm wearing a wig. So that's what she calls me. And she was just like overwhelmed, having the best time of her life, seeing all these colorful characters. She's like, Manty, Manty, oh, you're so beautiful. So it is an event for everyone. And I can't wait to do Sydney because we did Melbourne
Mm,
last year, but this is our first time in Sydney.
mm. You did touch on it. It's like there's so many people, drag queens coming to the event. You've got people like Katya, Jinx, Monet Exchange, Pajana Heels, Trinity the Tuck. Um, with all these really American high name or international high name drag queens, have you ever got starstruck by meeting any of these people, or was there one drag queen in particular that like you had to meet?
Well, I think it was actually Jinx. I first met
Mm.
Jinx when she toured Australia with her vaudevillian show years and years and years and years and years ago at the Greyhound Hotel in St Kilda. I went to that show and I met her there for the first time. And I think it was just off her win of the season. And it was awestruck. I just loved her so much. And since then, I've been able to, connect and get a friendship out of that, which is so wonderful. So I can't wait for her to come back down. A little hot ticket for you is I'm actually bringing the kick-ons set to Drag Expo, so people can come and sit on my pink front porch, and I'm hoping to get some of the drag race queens down into the kick-ons area to have a little interview as well. I think that'll be
Are
fabulous.
you going to be having a little drink while you're doing that and get your
Of
server
course,
covering
the
you? Yeah.
official Troy will be there
Yeah.
to keep me hydrated. Don't you worry.
That's fantastic. And by the way, I mean, I actually met Jinx at the same time you did. I was at Joy FM down there, and I met her at the studios, and I went and saw the Vaudevillians at the Greyhound as well, which is a shame that the Greyhound's actually gone these days. It's no longer around. Um,
I
but
know.
yeah, how is the state of drag in Melbourne? Because um, I've lived in Melbourne for 7 years, and it just seems like there aren't the venues that there were.
No, they definitely have. There definitely aren't. And there was a big gap where we lost. We were just losing venue after venue after venue. Anything south side was kind of gone. And it kind of began when the commercial road was dying, which used to be like the hub and the home of all things drag and queer. And now, though, we've got a new, like everything on Smith Street is now your one stop shop for everything drag and queer. We've made a nice neighborhood and community of venues along that strip in Fitzroy Collingwood area. So yeah, if you want to go and see drag in Melbourne, head on over to Smith Street. We've got
Mhm.
Molly's and Circuit, Ya's, we've got UBQ, even got the Peel down the road. There's so many wonderful places to celebrate the community there. So go and check out Smith Street if you want to get a little taste of all things fabulous.
Exactly. Smith Street is amazing. I used to hang out there all the time.
Mm.
It's great. And look, just to finish off, let's. What's your what's your all-time favorite drag name of anyone? It's like, what's
Oh
one
my
that
god,
tickles your fancy?
it changes. It changes, but because I mean, I don't have a pun name myself, but I still love a pun name.
Mm.
And my favorite drag name at the moment is Iman in a wig. And I just think it's so stupid. It's like hello, yes, I'm Iman in a wig. It's so stupid. It's my favorite.
I love stupid drag names. They're the best. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's besides coming up for Drag Expo? What's next for Art Simone? Where's she going next?
Um, we've got we've got season 2 of Concealed, my podcast, coming out in May, I believe. We're recording episodes at the moment. I just recorded one last week with. They surprised me with, I would say, a very top-notch celebrity. So that'll be coming out next month. And there's also a bunch of other things of which I cannot divulge the information, which I know is terrible
Oh,
to say, but
yeah, I know.
you
I know.
better.
No.
There's some big announcements around September. Something exciting will be happening, so keep an eye out
Oh.
for that as well.
Um.
Ooh.
So, just touching on Drag Race quickly for the last thing. Obviously we've got Hanaconda going over to do UK versus the world. We've got Trevor Ashley going over to do. Oh no, hold it. Sorry.
Yeah, Trevor Ashley.
Trevor Ashley going over to do Queen of the Universe. Um, if you were asked, would you do a versus the world or a All Stars version of Drag Race?
Yeah, I would definitely be up for it. I think it's been enough time since my season that I've got more to show, more to prove, more to play. I think I'm in a better mindset now. So if I do get asked and it works with my scheduling and it's the right fit, I'd love to. I'm always going to champion Aussie drag, and to be able to do that on an international scale would be even more special and more important to me. So if they come calling, I'll come strutting.
That's excellent. Art Simone, thank you very much for giving this interview today. You will be appearing at the Sydney Drag Expo. It's May 19th to 21st. It's at the ICC Sydney. You can get your tickets at dragexpo.com. And thank you very much for today. And all the best for Drag Expo.
Thank you. I can't wait. I'll see you in Sydney.
See you there. I'll be going. I'll see you there.